Guys, come closer. I have something to tell you. Come on, closer. Closer than, whoa, okay, not that close. Guys, the other day I was scrolling through someone else's Netflix because remember, I moved out of my place because of a leak. I know. And I noticed someone, presumably a previous guest of this house, started watching the Prom 2020, but stopped after 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Want to know what happens at 2 minutes and 20 seconds? James Corden speaks for the first time.
From the moment I first stepped into FDR's shoes.
Guys, I love it when I come across a piece of lost media. Movies and shows I have seen in the past, but have completely forgotten. But most importantly, were diabolical in nature. Lost, cursed media. And the most homophobic performance I've ever seen in a musical, ever. I love lesbians. The L in LGBTQIA+ stands for, listen here, you little shit. I am your mother. So imagine how upsetting it was that even when lesbians are at the center of a musical, they still ruin it with a straight man. And for that straight man to be James Corden really is just a slap in the face. Dare I say, walking back gay rights 20 years. But this is the perfect musical for us to talk about on this channel for several different reasons. It's directed by Ryan Murphy, and it's a musical, and it's like Glee on steroids. And then crack. It stars Meryl Streep, who is fantastic in everything she does. She could literally play a lamp and I'd be screaming. She'd be nominated for an Oscar, the greatest lamp cinema has ever laid eyes on. Also Nicole Kidman and another one of her fabulous wigs. Rumor has it at one point in her career, she just started wearing wigs for every single one of her projects. So for the last 20 or so years, anything that you see her on, it's a wig. And let's just say that some of those wigs are absolutely fantastic. They even got Kerry Washington playing a homophobic conservative mother. And unlike Mean Girls 2024, they actually hired a lead that can sing. Begging the question, how did we end up with James Corden playing a gay character? Was it personal favors or was it budget cuts? Friendly reminder, this movie preceded the petition to keep James Corden away from the cinematic adaptation of Wicked, which infamously got over 100,000 signatures. At least 100,000 nerds who took time out of their day to say directly to Hollywood, do not hire this man in a musical ever again. Shocking levels of cruelty, really. I signed the petition too. He's also known for haunting the sets of the movie Cats, which was an atrocious crime against humanity, but also an example of unchecked animal cruelty. And that's before they cast James. And don't get me started on that Cinderella movie that I have actually never seen. Is it good? Should I watch it? Is it worth it? Girls, let's talk about it because this is serious business. Also, subscribe down below for a chance at being subscribed to the channel. And the perks of being subscribed to the channel is that you will be a subscriber. It's an honor, really. The casting from hell. The Prom is a 2018 musical inspired by a 2010 real-life case, which then got turned into a 2020 movie. The premise is simple. A homophobic school cancels prom to stop a lesbian teenager from attending it with her girlfriend. Then 4 Broadway has-beens decide to rally behind her and help her attend prom, hoping that the good publicity from the stunt will help revive their careers, because they're all struggling, because they're all losers narcissists who nobody wants to see on stage. Enter stage left, James Corden. One reviewer said of the film, there is too much of Corden to ignore in the Prom. And that really summarizes the story for me. His character is critical for the plot's development, so his on-screen presence is relentless. He is in every single one of these scenes, every single one of these songs, but it gets worse. It gets worse because James Corden, the heterosexual British man, was cast to play a gay American with a lisp. The lisp?
We're still celebrities. We still have power.
I'm not saying a lisp is inherently gay, but it's not gay. Let's say a lisp adds a je ne sais quoi cadence to the speech that makes you think, oh, he's fruity. It's a character choice that leans heavy on him wanting to sound gayer, which I thought was already quite clear when he just kept holding his hand like this in all the musical numbers. Watch me twirl, daddy, watch me twirl. It feels redundant to hit all of these characterization cliches of a gay man, which is why my theory is that James Corden binge-watched Modern Family and simply copied Cameron's character. Go back and watch it and tell me that I'm wrong. Otherwise, this musical is quite enjoyable. Far from being a classic, which feels insane to say considering the cast. Except for James Corden. It is, however, a hazard for anyone with photosensitivity issues. This movie will give you a seizure. It's like if gay became gayer and then had sex with gay and then they had gaybies. Gay babies. And then those gay babies turned into drag queens and we got the Prom. It'll overwhelm you, confuse you, and then you'll wake up gay. Glee on steroids and then psychedelics after doing crack cocaine. But most importantly, this was 2020, just before COVID hit, and everything went to shit. And that's why I think that James Corden's role single-handedly ended woke culture and ushered in this new era of fascism that we find ourselves in. This was it. His caricature portrayal of a gay man is what sent us all over the edge and made us think, you know what, maybe we've gone far enough with being tolerant. Maybe we need to walk some of that back.
Emma, my name is Barry, And I'm here to tell you that you are not alone.
Some of you may ask, but Eric, would you have a problem if this character was played by a gay actor doing the same exact character choices? No, because unlike the pick-me gays, I support gay rights and gay wrongs. If Andrew Reynolds wants to walk onto that set and make a fool out of himself, and turn his performance into a caricature of a gay Pee Wee Herman allergic to subtlety and all making it about himself, I support that. I'll even cheer him on. But when James Corden does it, I feel homophobic. I suddenly feel the urge to walk out of my house and go do hate crimes in the street. Which is weird, because he's not there. So who am I going to do hate crimes on? Right. Have I mentioned he makes everything about himself? Yeah. So let's get into it. We need to talk about it. It's very important. It really is a musical very of the time, very of the 2020s, very of the yes, gay rights, pride, let's all have a party and be allies, woo! And now we're here. Fuck! Let's jump into this movie, which starts with a homophobic Harry Washington presiding over a PTA meeting that has just decided to cancel prom. That's because Emma, a lesbian teenager, wants to take her girlfriend to prom. But this isn't the internet search history of conservatives. This is real life. And in real life, gay is not okay. Even the lesbians are not okay. They wanted to ban just her from attending the prom, but apparently that's a violation of her civil rights, so instead they decided to cancel the entire prom, punishing all kids because they don't want one single lesbian to be happy. Americans are insane. Like the concept of gathering all the parents and all the teachers of the PTA association just to discuss why one single lesbian is going to be such a problem for the entire school by taking her girlfriend to prom that you have to cancel it for everyone and then everyone is unhappy and blaming her even though it's everyone else's fault. Yeah. Shockingly, this actually happened in real life. And in fact, much of the fuckery happening in this musical happened in real life. Boo to the homophobes. Why do you hate fun? And why do you live vicariously through your imaginary thoughts of what happens behind other people's closed doors? Like, mind your business. Why are you doing that? Why are you such an unloved piece of shit? That's the setup, and we are on Broadway. It's the opening night of Eleanor, the Eleanor Roosevelt musical. Dee Allen, played by Meryl Streep, says of the musical, well, Eleanor was a brave, charismatic, powerful woman who no one had ever heard of. Her story needed to be told. People need to know. If you haven't caught up, Dee Allen is super self-absorbed. She sort of sees herself as a divine creature on the singular most important mission to improve people's lives. And she kind of is and she kind of does, let's be honest. And then the dreaded 2 minutes, 20-second timestamp arrives and Barry Glickman speaks for the first time.
From the moment I first stepped into FDR's shoes, and when I say shoes, I mean wheelchair.
Ooh, the homophobia I feel rising in me. Whoever tried watching this movie, this was it. This was the end of the road for them. This was their 13th reason why. From the moment I stepped into FDR's shoes was the straw that broke the camel's back. A moment of silence for people who wanted a feel-good musical but then couldn't get past him. Right, to better illustrate the narcissism of these performers, they perform Changing Lives, which is about how they are changing lives through acting. It's a celebration of the greatest run a musical has ever had on Broadway on opening night, which is all they get because the party gets interrupted by the first reviews of the show. And they're not good. Barry Glickman's FDR might just be the most insultingly misguided, offensive, and laughable performance that this reviewer has ever had the squirming misfortune to endure. It's like they wrote this for James's performance. Watching Dee Allen's Eleanor Roosevelt croaking out a heavy-handed message of activism is like paying an aging drag queen to shove a syrup-soaked American flag down my throat.
It's just a personal attack.
These are not the reviews you want for a show that already had crappy advance sales, so they're closed on opening night. And as they drown their sorrows, they get to talking to Trent Oliver, a struggling actor, now a waiter, who's better known for a role in the sitcom of the 90s, Talk to the Hand. And then they're joined by Angie Dickinson. Everybody stop. Nicole Kidman as Angie Dickinson is so important and so special, and we need to really hold her performance close to our chests, to our hearts. I'm sorry your show closed on opening night. Again. So this is a recurring theme. Because the criticism wasn't aimed at the play per se or the writing, it was aimed at the actors because they are narcissists that nobody wants to see on stage. Selfish, self-aggrandizing whore. Angie joins them after quitting Chicago because they wouldn't let her play Roxy Hart. So all four of them find themselves adrift in their careers. When Barry has the idea of becoming celebrity activists to damage control the PR crisis they find themselves in. And Angie quickly finds Emma's case online, which sounds like the perfect cause for them to champion. They're not fixing world hunger or ending poverty, they're just helping a lesbian go to prom.
They canceled prom? Are they allowed to do that?
I don't know, James, are you allowed to talk like that? Because then Angie says, can we really do this? To which Barry responds, you bet your sweet MILF ass we can. Excuse the fuck out of you who taught you how to talk like that. And I know it wasn't your parents. because they abandoned you. And as quickly as they were complaining about their failing careers, they are now all having fun singing Changing Lives reprise. And it just looks like they're having fun on set. Like they're not working, they're taking a holiday, and they're singing and dancing on holiday together.
Being gay isn't a crime.
No, but it is a crime to have you on this film. It's like they're doing it on purpose to stop me from enjoying it. Back at the high school, Emma is being taunted by the other kids for getting their prom canceled, even though it was the parents. Her main foes are Kaylee and Shelby, who are not only her ex-friends, but also students/professional dancers at this school. And Emma sings Just Breathe as she keeps a positive outlook on things, even though the entire association of parents and teachers hate her so much they made it their personal mission to make her as miserable as possible before she graduates high school. And that's after Emma's parents kicked her out when she came out to them at the age of 16. Luckily, her grandmother took her in. So boo her parents, but her nan is great. She's lovely. I love her. And they hold a town hall because Tom Hawkins, the school's principal, has been helping her and speaking to lawyers about it. And the courts are now saying that the school has to host an inclusive prom. They can't just simply cancel everything because of one student. And everyone is against having their kids go to a homosexual prom.
My son will not be forced to go to a homosexual prom.
Thank you, Beverly.
What? Because a normal prom is already the gayest thing ever. What's gonna make it gayer, Susan? I didn't realize your husband was attending. I bet he's one of those Republicans whose grinder and scruff is constantly bing, 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 bing. The gag is Emma's secret girlfriend is Kerry Washington's daughter, Alyssa Green, played by Ariana DeBose. Well, Angie, Trent, Barry, and this theater director guy storm in, looking like the saddest gay parade ever, announcing their support for Emma.
I am as gay as a bucket of wigs.
What?
A bucket of them!
Get out of town. No, you're not. What? But of course, this is all just a prelude for the Diva Dom performance by none other than Broadway superstar Dee Allen. This song is very important and very special because she sings It's Not About Me, during which she makes it all about herself. Stealing rights of a girl who is an LGBTQ teen. I've been far too angry to Google what those letters mean. One of the lines is, the Post once said I was too old to play Eva Peron. How is that related to the story? It's not. And after the rally, Principal Hawkins tells Dee Allen that he is a huge fan of hers, and she's not used to having men like him be fans of hers. And by men like him, I mean straight.
You are straight, right?
Yes, I am.
And they flirt, and he does ask them not to do anything because he's handling the case. So naturally, the four Broadway stars completely ignore his advice. The plan is simple. Hold a rally and sing about tolerance, and teach people to be tolerant. That's gonna work. And the theater director books them a venue with 2,500 people, a great audience to pass on their message. The halftime entertainment performance at a monster truck show. Guys, I thought monster truck shows were just fake for movies. Are they real? It's a very hetero environment, and when the announcement gets announced, you can feel the homophobia filling the room. Ladies and gentlemen, Truckosaurus, the car-eating robot dinosaur, will not be your halftime entertainment today. Instead, we have some guests who've come from New York to sing us a song about intolerance. Cue Trent Oliver wearing a leather jacket painted like the American flag, singing about respecting others.
Bigotry's not big of me.
Obviously, they're booed to filth, and after the show, they reconvene and they discuss quitting this whole endeavor. It's not worth it because it's going terribly wrong. But the turning tables have been turned, and Emma and the principal arrive with some good news. Thanks to pressure from the state attorney's office, prom is back on. The school is being forced to host an inclusive prom, and Emma can go and take her girlfriend. It's a victory. Huzzah! And the four Broadway stars, of course, self-absorbed, convince themselves that they are the reason why this worked. And you know what? Let's just say they helped. And it's promposal day. So boys at the high school are pulling out intricately choreographed group numbers, which is extremely not gay, to ask girls to go to prom with them. This is like watching Christian Glee on crack. Emma and Alyssa also sing away from the crowds, and they are planning to come out to the entire school at prom. Which sounds like the worst fucking idea that you could have. Those people do not deserve your truth. But they also say, I don't want to start a riot. I don't want to blaze a trail. I don't want to be a symbol or a cautionary tale. I just want to dance. And it's important because the Broadway losers want to turn them into a symbol, into a movement, into the next civil rights issue of America so they can revive their careers. And they just want to dance. Lesbians just want to dance. Where are my lesbians at? Woo, woo. Dee has dinner with a principal, and he gets a solo number about how much he admires her called We Look to You. And it's a very unfortunate song because he's a terrible singer, but he strokes her ego so fiercely she almost tears up. Emma plans on wearing a tux to prom because that's just who she is. It's her personal style and it's how she chooses to express herself. So naturally, Barry, the annoying gay, begs her to let him dress her for prom because He never got to go to his prom. Well, he did. He got there and he saw his crush walk into the gym, and then he decided not to attend anymore because his crush, the guy who looks about a decade older than him, was there with his girlfriend. And I'm like, did he get the girlfriend on the way to school? No, he was already straight. So why was it seeing him with her walking into prom a reason for you not to go in? Sounds like they're working really hard to give this character an extra sad emotional arc that I just absolutely hate because the casting choice was just so bad. I also hate a gay man living vicariously through a teenage lesbian because he never got to go to his prom, so he's trying to turn her prom into his little fantasy. Sick. So we want to relive our lost teenage experiences through this girl's life. To quote one of the greatest movies ever made in history of cinema, Parasite. He begs her to let him shop for her, and we get Tonight Belongs to You, a song ruined by Barry. The song has two parts. The first half is Emma and Barry at the mall looking for a dress for her, and the second half is the homophobic kids getting ready for their prom as well. In one of the first lines, Barry offers to give her the spandex that he's wearing. Don't do that. Don't say that. Don't even think about it, really. I just don't like the way he moves. Every move that he makes is like, how can I make it worse? And then he does. And then after making it worse, he goes back and he makes it even worse. And then the scene changes and you think, okay, enough of that. But then he comes back and then he somehow makes it even worser than the worst that was before, that was already worse than the worst. So it's like a never-ending race to the bottom. Like, how low can we go? The bar is not even in hell anymore. The bar melted. But then Kaylee and Shelby's turn comes in and... like, wow. Mid-song, homophobic Kerry Washington tells her daughter, I have worked so hard for tonight, I have the right to enjoy it too. No, you don't. A conservative woman unhappy with her life, living vicariously through her teenage daughter's life. I am shocked, I tell you. Unexpected, really. Maybe we should blame the economy. Well, the night comes and Emma gets to prom. She's in a super girly dress that she didn't want to wear in the first place, but she doesn't even care. All she wants is to meet her love inside, Alyssa Green. The parking lot is empty, but nobody notices. And then she gets to the gym to find it completely empty. Principal Hawkins is in there on the phone, and it turns out all the parents gathered behind his back to organize a second secret prom for all of the kids, leaving the inclusive one just for Emma. What? And Kaylee and Shelby lied to Alyssa because they found out that Alyssa and Emma were together and they wanted to protect their friend. Well, Emma calls Alyssa, who explains that she genuinely did not know, but she can't meet Emma because now that she's at the prom and her mom is there and she's by herself, she doesn't have the courage, which breaks Emma's heart completely, and she decides to stop fighting it. Enough's enough. And I think that's the first sensible decision in the film, because if the entire fucking school went to such great lengths as to organize an entirely different prom and not tell you about it, actively lie to you, several different kids lie to her just to keep her from attending prom, why would you want to go? Like, why would you even want to grace them with your presence? But also, this is a level of cruelty that hurts more than if she had been jumped by 3 or 4 people who wanted to beat her up. The quartet of losers is irate, and Dee Dee Allen lets it slip that they only came to this town to launder their reputation. A disappointment to the principal, who thought that she was as nice as the characters that she played on stage that he fell in love with. Someone needs to tell him that she's an actress. She's not those characters, but okay. And days later, a homophobic Kerry Washington tells media that they organized a second prom because they felt it wasn't safe for Emma to attend the other one because the community is offended by her lifestyle choices. All of this over a 17-year-old teenage lesbian. Oh, Christians will never beat the allegations. Ah! You snowflakes. And though the quartet want to take Emma to national TV to tell her story and show the entire country how disgusting this high school in Indiana is, Emma doesn't want to fight anymore. She's had enough. So while the crew scramble to find her media opportunities, Angie Dickinson stays behind. And she stays behind to clock into the Fosse School of Jazz and Cabaret and whatever else this is classified as. What it really is the cuntification of jazz by Nicole Kidman herself. And she performs a number meant to empower Emma. Give it some zazz. If I had Nicole Kidman in my living room doing a cabaret jazzy number just for me, I would give her my kidneys. I would combust. And Emma agrees because the performance inspires her to put some zazz behind what she wants to do. Elsewhere in Indiana, Dee Dee Allen is clocking into the School of Servitude to serve us another masterpiece. She reminisces with Barry about her marriage to Eddie Sharp, a TV mogul who was once broke and bankrolled by Dee Dee for 15 years before he divorced her and fucked her over in the divorce settlement. And he's now a super successful TV producer with his own TV show. So like, he's rich and he's still getting half of everything that she has. That's tragic. That's That's fucked up. And Barry convinces her to go make things right with the principal because he seems to really, really, really like her. So Dee Dee clocks out of this phenomenal dramatic performance to clock in for another solo number at the school called The Ladies Improving. And to make a stellar musical performance simple, she's not perfect, she's trying to improve, and she's open to learning how to be a better person. It's almost weaponizing competence, like, oh, it's not my fault that I'm so stupid and self-absorbed, it's how I was raised. But you know what? She's so fantastic and so phenomenal, it doesn't even matter. The principal buys into it. He's moved enough to continue seeing her and maybe even teaching her a thing or two about being selfless. And if you could believe it, at this very same school, a lesbian couple is about to break up. Alyssa and Emma meet, and Alyssa sings Alyssa Green, a song about how hard it is to be her and have her mother and her mother's expectations constantly weighing you down. And Emma isn't mad. She understands that everyone has to go at their own pace. It's just that Emma is slightly ahead of Alyssa at this point in time. And that's okay, but unfortunately they have to break up. Oh. That's unfortunate because somewhere else in Indiana, at the mall, Trent Oliver is also clocking in and putting his steps and teaching homophobic kids that homophobia is unchristly, ungodly, unbibly, like it's against the Bible. He approaches the homophobes at the mall, which include Kaylee and Shelby and their respective boyfriends, Kevin and Nick. And he's there to understand the root of all of this homophobia, which, if you can believe it, is the fucking Bible. Yeah. And I'm not going to get into how it was mistranslated and how gay wasn't even a thing at the Bible back when, and it was just Americans that introduced it into it. I'm not going to go into that because it doesn't even matter. Trent sings Love Thy Neighbor, hands down the best song of the film. And it's all about all these other things that the Bible says you're not allowed to do, but people keep doing anyway, and they keep turning a blind eye. They are pick and choosing what they can do and not do.
You can't cherry pick the Bible, choosing which parts you want to believe.
And he lists examples in the song, which is very fantastic because it's a song that advances the plot. That's very important in musicals. Kaylee has a small tattoo. That tattoo would be taboo. Kaylee, guess what waits for you? An eternity in the fiery pits of hell. Or Shelby. Shelby, you seem sweet to me, but if it has come to be, you've lost your virginity. We'll be stoning you and your family as well. Nick's parents are divorced. And not to oversimplify, but the scripture does imply that his mom will have to die. House tomorrow if she's not got any plans. And to Kevin, let's hope you don't masturbate, because the scripture says we'll have to cut off your hands. Or we could use our common sense instead. When you're lost, it always helps recalling those immortal words that Jesus said. There's one rule that trumps them all. Love thy neighbor trumps them all. The script of this musical says Trump a lot of times during this song, but not as many times as the Epstein Files. And you know what? This little sing-song dance is enough to convert all of these homophobic teenagers into ex-homophobic teenagers, no longer homophobic, but allies. All they needed was to loosen up and do some pirouettes at the mall. They just started doing pirouettes and all of a sudden they don't hate the gays anymore. My favorite line is, Jesus, take the wheel and steer it if you feel the Holy Spirit. Why would Jesus be feeling the Holy Spirit? Isn't Jesus the Holy Spirit and also the God and the Trinity of whatever? Christianity is confusing. Well, Dee Dee has decided to be selfless, and she arranges for Emma to go on Eddie Sharp's TV show to tell her story. Eddie Sharp's TV show has about 15 to 16 million viewers every night. And this is a big deal because in return for this little favor, she had to give Eddie Sharp her house in the Hamptons, which she had been trying to get for years. Everyone is ecstatic until Emma gets there and she's like, yes, I am gonna fight back, but I'm gonna do it my way. I'm not gonna go on TV. Which sends Dee Dee Allen into a very understandable crash out.
You owe me a house.
God, she's just so good. Emma then tells Barry that she's gonna be herself, and the fact that she's herself is gonna lead to an inclusive prom happening. She just knows it. A lot of faith in the unknown. And says that when that happens, she wants Barry to be her date to prom because she just broke up with her girlfriend and there's no one else in the entire world she'd rather go to prom with than Barry Glickman. And he is so emotional, not a single tear can be seen. What are you wiping, Barry? And then a very uncomfortable solo song about how excited Barry is to finally be going to prom. Guys, I don't even want to... No. He imagines he goes to prom and then he's speaking to his younger self, and then his younger self goes into the prom, and then his younger self sees his crush who's like a decade older than him, and it's just weird. But worse than another solo number for Barry Glickman is the lights and the flashing effects, and it's dangerous to watch by yourself if you have any photosensitivity issues, or if you have good taste, or if you enjoy having eyes and other senses. Cut to Emma, whose big plan to be herself is to sing a song, record it, and post it. Unruly Heart, and it's all about being vulnerable and how she can't control who she likes, who she falls in love with. Because that's the way God made her, Shelby. It's a very summer camp, gathered by the fire, holding lighters up, toasting marshmallows kind of song, which is interesting because I've never done any of those activities aforementioned. The song's a hit, and the Quartet of Losers couldn't be prouder of her. They're so proud, in fact, that they gather all of their maxed out credit cards to fund an actual inclusive prom that she can attend with her girlfriend and all of her friends. They even get Dee Dee Allen to sacrifice her black Amex, which is a big deal considering she's already lost a house with this fucking bullshit. But Dee Dee is selfless and she's becoming a better person. She even reached out to Barry's mom so Barry can have closure with his mom because he's been wallowing and crying about it the entire time. She probably couldn't take his whining anymore, so she called his mom, and his mom shows up. And she apologizes to her son, and she cries, and he cries, and they hug, and it's this huge emotional story. And normally I would expect a tear or two to form right here in the corner of this eye, or even here in the middle. But then I was watching it and nothing. I felt nothing but confusion over why this heterosexual British actor was given one of the biggest emotional story arcs of this gay film. I hate it here. Directed by Ryan Murphy, no less, who loves hiring gay actors to play gay and to play straight. The quartet then put together a new prom, and the homophobes and all adjacent characters show up. Kaylee, Shelby, Kevin, and Nick are there to apologize to Emma for being dicks, and they even suggest the school hire Trent because Trent is such a good teacher. And the principal hires him on the spot for the theater department that the school doesn't have, which explains their general lack of empathy up until now. Alyssa and her mom are also there, and her mom is there to put a stop to this madness. A stop to the faggotry happening in this room. But tough titties, because this is not an official school event, so her PTA has no power here. Seeing how deranged her mom has become, Alyssa finally gains the courage to come out to her by proclaiming her love for Emma. And homophobic Kerry Washington only manages to say she doesn't want her daughter's life to be hard before leaving the gym distraught without having reached a resolution with her daughter. Which is still a very positive reaction considering she was literally on a campaign to cancel an entire prom because of one singular lesbian in a school of God knows how many hundreds of kids. So for her to not immediately pull a gun and shoot her daughter in the face, that's progress. Cut to later that evening, it's prom night. Emma and Alyssa sing the sequel to Dance With You. It's time to dance. And what do they do while they sing? They dance. Right. And Carrie, the bigot, has a change of heart and decides to pivot to loving her daughter. She shows up in this bedazzled number and tells Alyssa that she loves her more than anything and that's never going to change. It's a very sweet and heartwarming moment, as you can see by the entire school watching the moment happening. Imagine going to an inclusive prom and it's just front row seats for family drama unfolding. That sounds really gay. That is a homosexual prom after all. And then the song It's Time to Dance resumes, and it evolves into a big group ensemble number that culminates with Alyssa and Emma finally kissing at prom like they planned to do in the first place. Finally out and happy and accepted by all their friends and peers. The end. Also, Dee Dee and the principal kiss, and like that's gonna become a thing. And also Angie has been hired to play Roxy Hart, so she's going back to Broadway to be a fucking superstar. And Barry is still there. Someone send him home. And that brings us to the very end of this film. A film of the woke era, because what do you mean 4 Broadway has-beens go to a town and single-handedly turn them all into ex-homophobes with literally nothing? Because they didn't do shit. It was Emma the whole time. Okay. And that's it. That was peak woke. What do we think? What do we think? Let me know in the comments down below. Did you watch this film? Did you like it back then? And if you haven't, it's on Netflix right now. You can watch it. I dare you. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to leave it a like down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and click that bell notification so you never miss a future upload from me. Also, follow me on my socials. They're all linked down below. God, speed running through this, huh? And until next time, stay safe, stay sane, stay stupid, and stay stuttering. Bye, guys. And now the song. One thing's universal, life's no dress rehearsal. Forgive me if I hate his fucking face. Would you like to say anything? I understand.